ESPN content is disappearing from YouTube. Facebook fixes the battery drain issue affecting their iOS app. Jack Dorsey gives a third of his Twitter shares back to his employees, and more. It's Friday, October 23rd, and this is Crunch Report. Hello, happy Friday, everybody! YouTube announced its ad-free subscription service, YouTube Red, just 2 short days ago, with the surprising caveat that if creators don't agree to Red's terms, their content would be removed from YouTube entirely. Caused a lot of confusion. Today, the majority of ESPN's video content has vanished from YouTube in the US. Now, ESPN's parent company, Disney, does have a deal with YouTube Red, but ESPN itself doesn't have permission to distribute its videos through a subscription video service like YouTube Red due to other contracts that it has in place. Now, the most recent video on ESPN's main channel is from January 2012. The majority of ESPN's more current content is gone. Now, the company explained in a statement, ESPN is not currently part of the Red service. Content previously available on the free YouTube service will be available across ESPN digital properties. On YouTube Red, the company is reportedly paying out 55% of its subscription revenue to video publishers, which is about the same percentage as the ad revenue it shares. We'll see if anybody else high profile disappears anytime soon. Remember when we told you about the mysterious iOS battery drain that was being blamed on Facebook's app and that Facebook was looking into a fix? Well, the fix is now out. Yeah, although Facebook doesn't actually mention that in its version release notes. I wonder why. Here's what they found. The battery issues were caused by a bunch of bugs, including one that was eating up extra CPU cycles, so the app was using more iPhone battery than it should have. But also, Facebook was running a silent audio stream. This was something that people predicted. It was running in the background. The company said, though, that's unintentional. It wasn't being used to keep the app alive on purpose. I, for one, am just glad to get control of my battery again. It was really becoming a problem, at least on my phone. Jack Dorsey announced via tweet yesterday, how appropriate, that he's giving about a third of his Twitter shares, or about 1% of the entire company, back to Twitter's employees. The move should help morale, at least somewhat, at Twitter. It's a company going through a lot of transitions as of late. One of them, Dorsey himself, as returning CEO, plus a big round of layoffs. Morale could be improved. Now, if a third of his shares corresponds to 1% of the company, Jack Dorsey still owns about 2% of Twitter, at least 2%, which today is worth about $394 million. Let's also not forget that Dorsey also owns 24.4% of Square, another company worth billions of dollars that just filed to go public, of which he is the CEO. So he good. Now, notably, in Square's S1 filing, Dorsey also had said he had given around 20% of his equity back to Square, sounds familiar, and also to the Start Small Foundation, which he founded to fund entrepreneurs with a special focus on underserved communities. If you love a good old QWERTY keyboard, but you also like a modern phone, then you might like the Blackberry Prive, or PRIV? PRIV, which just went up for pre-order in the US, in Canada, and in the UK, with shipping starting on November 6th. Now, it's going for $700 in the US, and that's definitely the high end of the Android smartphone range. So it seems like BlackBerry's really betting on that physical keyboard for fans who think it's worth it. The PRIV also has a micro SD card slot for expandable storage of up to 2 terabytes, not too shabby. You might recall that Samsung's recent flagship phones ditched that micro SD card slot in favor of a thinner form factor, and that annoyed a lot of people. They like to have storage. The PRIV comes with an app called DTech. That's a privacy dashboard with an overview of the device's security and app permissions related to personal data and privacy as well. Turing Pharmaceuticals. This is the biotech startup mostly financed by 32-year-old founder and CEO Martin Shkreli. Got a lot of bad attention since it launched just a few short months ago. Why? Well, it paid $55 million for a drug, a 62-year-old drug called dara-prim that's prescribed for toxoplasmosis and other types of infections. And then the company raised the price from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill. Hard to like a guy who does something like that, right? Well, yesterday, Imprimis Pharmaceuticals, that's a publicly traded pharmaceutical company based in San Diego, California, announced that it has created a customizable alternative to dara-prim that costs roughly $1 per pill, just $1. Imprimis' new compound is not FDA approved, not yet anyway, though its specific ingredients are FDA approved. So, it can technically be sold through a doctor's prescription to a specific individual, according to the San Diego Union Tribune. Karma appears to be real, everyone. And that is the report for today and the week. I'm Sarah Lane. Thanks for watching. Crunch Report airs every weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on TechCrunch.com. You can find us on iTunes, on YouTube, on Facebook, and probably some other places I haven't thought of yet. See you on Monday.